everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin' Hippo, and today is Thursday, June 4th. We're going to take a look at jeans that sold on eBay. I went through both April and May and looked at all of our jeans that sold in those months, and cherry picked out a bunch that I wanted to show you guys, mostly BOLO brands for you to be looking out for, and some really good bread and butters. Our cost of goods across the board is usually 99 cents unless it's a very high-end brand like Silver, Miss Me, True Religion. I do pay full price for those at our Goodwills. That's $6.99. Other than that, it's 99 cents on 99 cents day, or they come out of a thread-up box, and that always averages out to around $1.60 up to $1.80 per pair, depending on if I had a free shipping coupon or not. So $2 or less for most of these pairs, $6.99 for the really good ones. And we'll talk about cost of goods as we go through and what you should be willing to pay for these based on what you can make from them. Alright, so these are Joe's jeans. Joe's jeans are a really good brand to look for. I wouldn't pay $7 for them though. I would pay up to $4 and $5. They do flip pretty fast and they do go for pretty good money. They have lots of different sizes, they have lots of different styles, and they all have names. And when you look at Joe's jeans, the name is typically on this tag. This is the Brixton. And so these are a brand I also like for that reason. I like brands that either give you the specific style on the tags or they have names. When they have names like this, there are people who are specifically looking for Joe's the Brixton straight leg because they know they like those jeans. So it just makes it to be an easier sale for you. This particular pair, we accepted a best offer of $30 on. These are Cabby Jeans. These are a really, really good high-end bread and butter. They don't go for a lot of money, but as far as bread and butter goes, they're a better brand, and they move really fast. I've only ever found 2 Cabby items or pieces ever. They both came out of a thread-up box. I've never found them in the wild. One was these jeans and one was a pair of shorts. They both sold pretty fast. I accepted a best offer of $22 on these, so this would be something I'd be willing to pay $2 or $3 for. This is an example of a mall brand or a bread and butter brand that is good to pick up if you see it just because it's different. This is Rue 21, very small size, but the print on it, the floral print, makes it just pretty and just different, and a lot of times that can matter if something's different or has print or some kind of design on them. This particular pair, I did have shipping on it, so the total they paid for these was about $17, and they shipped first class, so this was a pretty good flip. If you find these for like $1, you know, or at the bins where you're paying by weight, or if you go to a stuff-a-bag sale, this would be something you would want to look into getting, but not if you're going to be paying more than like $2. Silver jeans, guys, you know I pay up for these. I'd pay up to $7 for silvers. These are the Echo boot cuts, and I accepted a best offer of $43 for these. So you guys keep your eyes peeled out for silver jeans. And hopefully you live in an area where you can get them for less than $7, but I do pay that for them. This is another example of like a mall brand or a department store brand that can do well if it's different. These had rips, holes, tears. I'll never understand it, but for whatever reason, when jeans have distressing rips, holes, and tears, it makes them more valuable. So this pair sold for $21.99, and they were a good size too, a 14. Size 14 and up is always good. These are probably my favorite for men's jeans. Silver might be my favorite women's. These are my favorite for men. Longtime viewers, you've probably heard me talk about these a lot. The BKE men's jeans that have the names here. They have Tyler, Cody, Derek. There's tons of them out there. When I see them, I get them, and I will pay up to $7 for them. This particular pair is the Tyler boot cut, and it sold for best offer of $40. These are the Melissa Mccarthy line from the 7 jeans or 7 jeans. These I pay up for. because they are Melissa McCarthy. These are good for plus size brand, along with Torrid and Lane Bryant. Keep your eyes out for those as well. But the Melissa McCarthy line does sell for a little bit more than the regular 7s or 7.7. These are the Slimming Dark Wash. They're just nice jeans, and a lot of women who wear plus size really like these Melissa McCarthy jeans. And so I took a best offer on these ones of $34. 7 for All Mankind Dojo jeans is a capital BOLO. This is a bolo. 7 for All Mankind jeans themselves are kind of like the lower end of the bolos, or maybe even high end bread and butter these days, unfortunately, just because of the way things get run down on eBay and people race to the bottom. However, the Dojo jeans have kept their value, and they are still definitely a bolo. I would pay up to 7 for the Dojo jeans specifically. You can tell the Dojo jeans because they have the 7 on the back pockets like that, and they will say Dojo on the inside of the waistband right there. You see that? It says Dojo, and then you'll see the 7s on the back pockets, and that's how you know they're Dojos, and they are definitely a bolo. I took a best offer of $48 on this pair. Fire resistant jeans, guys, those are a bolo. These are Wranglers. I typically don't source Wrangler or look for Wrangler when I or pick it up when I find it. However, the fire resistant or flame resistant jeans are a definite bolo. I've only ever found 2 in the wild, and both of them sold within like a week and a half of being listed, and for good money. So when I see this, I will pick it up. And even if it wasn't Wrangler, the FR can typically be seen on jeans that are flame resistant. They will typically have this kind of tag on the inside explaining the flame resistance to you. And then they have a rating tag on them right here that gives you the rating for the flame resistant. And then you want to use keywords, of course, the FR, flame resistant. You can put in workwear, work jeans, things like that, and they will sell. So these ones sold for $40.99. Here's another pair of Joe's jeans. Just kind of flip through it real quick to let you guys look at them. These are the tailored fit, size 34, which is a pretty good size. And this one sold for a best offer of $30 as well, just like the other pair. Ed Hardy is kind of like, I want to say it's a bolo, and I always pick it up when I find it, but it moves slow. So it sells for good money, but it's not fast. So if you're going to invest the money in the jeans and you're willing to sit on them for a while until they sell, Ed Hardy is definitely something you want to pick up. I've actually only ever found 2 in the wild. This pair that had this nice tiger on it that was all made out of beads and embellished. And then you guys saw the back end had the EH on the pockets and Ed Hardy spell out. The other pair was men's. This particular pair is women's. The other pair I had found had a big skull back here and some other graphics. I still will pick them up, and I will pay up to 7 for them. You just have to be willing to let them sit. I think it's not as popular anymore, but there are people who definitely like Ed Hardy, wear it, and will pay up for it. This pair I accepted a best offer of $35 on. Next we have Snoop Dogg. You guys, I bought these on a whim. They've been around for like 2 years. I paid $6.99 for them just because like I said, it was on a whim. I saw Snoop Dogg. I thought they would do really well, and I was willing to risk it. I accepted a best offer of $25. I really would like to have gotten more for them because of what I paid, but they've been around for so long, like 2, maybe even 2.5 years. It was just time to let them go, so off they went for $25. So I would actually probably not pick these up again unless I could find them, for $2 or less. This is an example of a mall brand that I normally will avoid. However, I don't know why it's not letting me make the pictures big, but J. Jill, I kind of avoid. However, these, I actually think they came in a thread box, to be honest. But if I saw these in the wild for only 99 cents, I'd probably pick them up. They're only a size 10, which is a really average size, but they're gray. And like I mentioned before, not only do graphics make jeans more valuable, like these Ed Hardys with the nice tiger, or if they have print on them, or just even stripes or different colors. Jeans that aren't your typical, denim wash, that are different colors, always do well for me. All colors. And so because these are gray and so super duper, I wish these would let me click. They're not. You see how super duper bell bottom flare these are? I do really well with bell bottom flare jeans also. Anything that's really super wide leg like that. So these sold for a best offer, $20. So that wouldn't be a bad flip if you found them for like $1 or $2. Here is something that came out of a throwback box. This is, again, would be something I normally would skip over if I was outsourcing, but maybe not. It's a size 16, size 14 and up does well. Boyfriend jeans. Boyfriend is probably the fastest moving style, at least for us. Anytime I list jeans under the boyfriend jeans, they sell really fast, and it doesn't matter what brand it is. It doesn't matter what size it is, really, either. The boyfriend jeans just move really fast. They're very popular. So even though Westport's a brand, I'd be like, if I saw these in the wild and saw that they were a good size 16, and their boyfriend, and they have something unique about them, they have these embroidered flowers on them, I'd pick them up for a couple bucks, maybe up to $3. These sold really fast within a week of being listed, and they sold for $25.99. Not your daughter's jeans, guys. These used to be a bolo. I would say not your daughter's jeans is still a bolo, but I wouldn't pay a lot for it. So maybe it's more of like a high-end bread and butter. I wouldn't pay up for these more than $3 anymore, just because this brand has actually been kind of one of the brands that has succumbed to the race to the bottom, unfortunately. But these are plus size 14 women's, 14W. They are leggings, which is also a very popular style. And they sold for $22.50 on a best offer. Silver jeans, again, these are just capris. So most of my silver jeans, I'll start around $50, and knowing that I'm going to accept the best offer of $40 or $45. Sometimes they sell for the full $50. When they're capris, I start them a little bit lower, just because they're capris. They're not full-length jeans. So these are the Tuesday 16.5-inch capri low-rise denim. And so I started these at $40.99, and I took a best offer of $32. Another pair of Joe's jeans. We sold a lot of Joe's. So it is a popular brand. You guys can see it may not be like buku money like some other brands or really high dollar, but you can see we've sold quite a few pairs compared to how many we have actually had in the inventory, in our inventory. So they move pretty steadily. If you find them for a couple bucks, $3 even, grab them up because they do move. These are the honey boot cuts, curvy boot cut. And these ones also sold for $30. Then we have these Gap. Now Gap is a bread and butter brand that I pick up regardless anytime I find it for $2 or less. If it's $2 or less and it's Gap, I don't care what size it is, what style it is, or what it looks like, I grab it. I do really, really well with Gap, American Eagle, and Old Navy jeans. They have a following. Each of those brands has people that are loyal to them, that have found the fit and the style within those brands that fit them well. They look good on them, they feel good, and people go online to find those exact styles again and again and again. So I am a firm believer that Gap, Old Navy, and American Eagle are very good bread and butters to pick up because they do have that following. I particularly love Gap because it always gives you your keywords right on the tag. It tells you its style. This isn't always skinny. And then this one also had polka dots. So it's got a lot going on for it because it's a little bit different than the rest, and it's got polka dots. It sold for a best offer of $21.59. American Eagle, speaking of, these are skinny jeans. And these ones had that on the tag. Size 2. We do really well with the small sizes, just like we do really well with the plus sizes. Size 2 is good. Size 1, we do really well with 0 and 00. And of course, this is American Eagle. I pick it up when I find it for 99 cents regardless. This pair sold for $20.99. These are Coogies. This is another brand. It used to do really well and sell for a lot of money. Not so much anymore. These were older. These have been around for a long time in our house, but not listed for a long time. These I actually discovered when I was going through our inventory recently to find all the things that had fallen off eBay. And so I relisted these. They sold fast, though. They sold for a best offer of $22.95, and they sold within a couple weeks. So they sold relatively quickly, just not for a lot of money. So these would be something that I would still pick up, but I wouldn't pay more than $2-3 for them. This is a mall brand, Sonoma, new with tags. So my rule with mall brands and bread and butter brands and maybe things that you normally would overlook, if I find them for a couple bucks, 99 cents, and they're new with tags, I grab them because anything new with tags typically does well. These were also boyfriend. We're back to that boyfriend style. People love the boyfriend style. So these had an MSRP of $40. I listed them at $24 and accepted a best offer of $20, and they sold relatively quick within the month. These are men's buckle black. These fall in the same category as the men's BKE with the names like Tyler, Cody, Derek. Anytime I see men's buckle black, I will pay up to $6-7 for them. They typically will go for anywhere between $40 and $50. This pair, I think because of the size, sat for a lot longer than usual. So I did accept the best offer of $35 on them because they had sat for so long. And you can see it's a size 29, which is a relatively small waist for men. The most common sizes that we sell fast in men is 32 and 34 waist. So these sold for $35. Here we have a pair of 7 for All Mankind women's jeans. When I showed you guys the dojos, I talked about how the ones that aren't dojos are just kind of run-of-the-mill bread and butter anymore. Unfortunately, they do get run to the bottom. They do get run to the bottom. That's not what I meant to say. People race to the bottom, and a lot of these brands that used to be worth money aren't anymore. So 7 for All Mankind is still good to pick up if you can find it for like $2-3. These sold for $24.85 on a best offer. And we have another pair of 7 for All kind that sold. These were the Roxanne Skinnies. Some 7 for All Mankinds have names. Some don't. I like when they do. It helps me out with keywords and such. But this pair sold for $31. And another pair of 7 for All Mankind here that sold for $27.61. And these ones were ripped. They have like a little hole in the knee there. Right there. You can see it. So you can see we sold quite a few pairs of 7 for All Mankind. So even though they don't go for a lot of money anymore, again, they still have a following. They still sell on the regular. If you have them in your store, they are going to move. So they're still worth picking up. I just wouldn't invest more than a couple bucks into them. Hollister is one of my personal favorite mall brands to move. People think I'm crazy, but when I list Hollister, one, they usually come in such small sizes that they ship first class, and two, they usually sell within a week. Hollister sells fast, but not for a lot of money, so you don't want to invest a lot. I get mine for 99 cents. If you can find them for $1 or $2, or again at the bins, or at a sale where you can cram stuff into a bag for one price, grab them up. They almost always are smaller, so they ship first class, so you're not paying for a padded flat, and they move quickly. This pair sold for $22.49. Most of the ones I have sell for $17 up to $23. This is an example of a brand that I decided to try. I found them at Goodwill. I paid $6.99 for them, and I'd do it again. So that tells you guys this is the brand you want to pay up for, and you want to have your eyes open for them. Ariat rebar. This says low-rise boot. I love when they tell you what they are. It saves me some trouble, but I decided to risk it. I kind of looked at some solds, but my phone never works inside the Goodwill. Anybody else have that issue? It never wants to work inside the Goodwill or connect, and it's really slow. But yeah, look, they sold for $42.18, and I believe we just picked these up. I want to say in February, maybe January of this year, and they didn't get listed until we were on the stay-at-home orders. So April, May, about 2-3 months to sell. So I think it's worth investing the money to sit on it for 3 months to sell for $42.18. And they were a good size too, 44. All right, another pair of silver jeans. You guys know I love my silver jeans. These are super because they got rips and tears and distress marks. They're super flare. They're the Tuesday 22. And this pair sold for best offer at $34. So that means it's been around for a while. Another pair of 7 from Mankind, guys. So this is size 26 boot cut, low rise. And they sold for $23.98. Another pair of silver jeans. So you guys can start to see a pattern here of what brands we sell the most of, what moves the best. These were so super cute though. They had 3 buttons on the front. They had these little pockets on the front. I call these frog pockets. My grandmother was from the South. That's what they called them. I don't know what y'all call them. But these are frog pockets. They're just really cute. They're bell bottoms. And so they sold for $48.45. And that's probably got a lot to do with the fact that they were so unique and just cute. That they sold for the $48.45 versus the ones that sat around until I accepted $34 on them. Still buy them both again though. And then we have a pair cut from the cloth. Again, this is a really good high-end bread and butter brand. It used to be one that I would call a bolo and sold for a lot more. But unfortunately, this one's really been a brand that has just succumbed to the race to the bottom. This pair sold for $22.48. So I really wouldn't pay more than a couple bucks for cut from the cloth. Madewell is still a good brand, guys. Madewell is still a bolo until it's not anymore. These are the leggings, size 29. They were black. So they're different. They're not your regular blue jeans. And they had their jeggings, but they also have like this elastic waist. So these sold for $41. So Madewell is definitely a bolo still. I would pay $5-6 for these. And Cult of Individuality is a bolo. These are a definite bolo brand to keep your eyes peeled out for. Cult of Individuality. This particular pair is men's. Men's jeans always fetch more money than women's, always. They're button fly, which adds value to jeans. Typically, when I have a pair of jeans that's button fly, I will add $2 or $3 onto the starting price and just charge a little bit more for them for the button fly. It will fetch you a couple more bucks. And these were the Hagen straight leg. So they sold for $67.69. Bolo. These are definitely something you want to keep your eyes out for. I got these the same day I got those rebars, Ariat rebars. I got them the same day. I remember it well. I got really excited when I found these. So keep your eyes peeled for Cult of Individuality. But don't overlook those good bread and butter brands either, guys. If they're going to cost you $2 or less and they move well, they move steadily, they move for a good amount, they're definitely worth grabbing and putting in your stores to get your volume up. And, unfortunately, sometimes brands that used to be good will eventually be worth less just because of how buyers or how sellers are with that race to the bottom. So I always tell people, even if you get to a point where you don't comp anymore and you know what you charge for certain brands. It's always good every couple of months to just double check your comps. I don't comp when I list. I know most of the brands I list over and over again what I start them at. If it's new to me, I will comp it, and then again every couple of months I just double check. Because there was a time when I used to start, say, Lucky brand at 40. Now I start them around 25 a couple years later, just because of that race to the bottom. But I always start high, so I do start higher than a lot of other folks, and I am willing to sit on my stuff until I get the price I want. But you can't start too high. Like if you still wanted to start Lucky at 40, there's no way they would ever sell. You just have to kind of keep your finger on the pulse of the market, but you can still price pretty high. You guys can see that I still can sell silver jeans for close to $50. I still sell those BKE men's jeans for a good bit. What did I tell you? $40. So don't be afraid to price high. Just make sure that you're not like astronomically above what the market's at. And don't be afraid of those mall brands, guys, or jeans like this that have graphics that are different. Everything like that will sell. Hollister sells, Old Navy, Gap, American Eagle. They all have followings. And they move pretty fast. Alright guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think. And hit the thumbs up before you leave. It does really help the channel. And if you haven't already and you'd like to, please subscribe to our channel. Help us feed a hungry hippo. Don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified when I put up new content. And be sure to join our Facebook group. It's called Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. There's a link in the description box down below for you to join. And you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Flippin' Hippos, or email us at flippinhipposhelp@gmail.com. Until next time, guys, go be productive, go make some money, and thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye!